Hello everyone, good day. I am Moyerly Ariniego and we're here now to discuss about the application of electromagnetic methods as conductivity to the following natural resource exploration. The title of the research that we're going to tackle now is about the application of electromagnetic methods for reservoir monitoring with emphasis on carbon capture utilization and storage. And down there is the authors that published this research. So this presentation has four parts: the introduction, case histories, discussion, and then conclusion. So let's start now. So let us start with the introduction. Clean energy technology deployment must accelerate rapidly to meet the climate goals. Carbon capture, utilization, and storage are CCUS technology for capturing the carbon dioxide emission. To use them sustainably or store them is crucial for reaching the net zero emissions. As part of the CCUS green gas reduction strategies, injecting carbon dioxide into the saline aquifers for storage and oil reservoir to enhance oil recovery or CO2 EOR addresses the challenge of reducing the atmospheric concentrations of CO2 and satisfying the worldwide energy demand. In recent years, research efforts have been focused on assessing the advantages and efficiency of using the carbon dioxide as an alternative to water, as heat transmission fluid or geothermal energy recovery from enhanced geothermal systems. Still, there are several challenges associated with transitioning to geothermal energy. And then next, the CO2 plume geothermal or CPG is another emerging technology to harvest the geothermal energy by circulating the carbon dioxide through geothermal reservoir with naturally sufficient porous and permeable formations overlain by coprock in CPG systems. The key objective is to provide a simultaneous CO2 injection-induced pressure relief by producing hot brine with consumptive beneficial uses. Next is the electromagnetic or EM methods are sensitive to resistive contrast. Therefore, they are ideal for estimating the location and extent of an injected CO2 plume. Controlled source electromagnetic or CSEM surveys combined with magnetoluric MT surveys are valuable tool for monitoring the injected industrial CO2 as a part of CCUS process. The controlled source electromagnetic or CSEM methods provides crucial information about the reservoir fluids and their spatial distribution. Carbon dioxide storage, geothermal exploration, and lithium exploration are ideal application for the CSEM methods. The versatility of CSEM permits its customization to specific reservoir objectives by selecting the appropriate components of multi-component system. To effectively tailor the CSEM approach, it is essential and important to determine whether the primary target reservoir is resistive or conductive. So the next part now is the case history. And first one is the monitoring of carbon dioxide in a saline reservoir in North Dakota, USA. So this is the summary of it. Here, we monitor the CCUS plum and we showed that we could certify that the data and the data quality within the context of the 3D anisotropic log from the beginning, and this process requires extremely care during the acquisition of quality assurance. As a result, potential risk can mitigated and cost saving can be achieved for the time-lapse measurement. By ensuring the accuracy and quality of the data, researchers, practitioners, and decision makers can make informed decisions based on the sound data and analysis. The next one is the geothermal. So in 2021, global geothermal energy reached approximately about 141 terawatts hour for geothermal application and 128 terawatts hour for direct heating. With around 82% of this usage concentrated in a few countries such as China, the USA, Turkey, and Iceland, is a part of its vision in 2030, the commitment to achieving net zero carbon emissions by 2060. Saudi Arabia is prioritizing the development of renewable energy sources, including geothermal energy. Al-Lith area in southwestern Saudi Arabia, which hosts four hot springs, most notably in Al-Hara with surface temperature of 96 degrees Celsius, has shown promising geothermal potential. Key reservoir properties include a reservoir temperature of 185 degrees Celsius, a discharge enthalpy of 219 kilojoules per kilogram, and a heat flow of 183 megawatts per meter squared, suggesting the area could sustain a long-term electricity generation. And in the initial magnetoleric or MT surveys involving 13 stations were conducted to investigate the subsurface geothermal system. The data, collected under harsh climate conditions, underwent thorough processing including spectral analysis and impedance inversion. So here now, it shows here a two-dimensional geoelectrical model presenting the geothermal system in Al-Lith area, Saudi Arabia. In the lower sensitivity hot body, the hot fluids form a heat exchanger of a convection cell. The fracture zone depicted with the dashed line acts as a pathway for the hot fluids to reach the surface. The arrow shows the hot spring at the top of the section. And above the section is a map showing the location of the magnetoleric sites. The purple rectangles along the hot springs yellow line represents the sites displayed on the profile. So here now are presented the results. Results revealed a low resistivity hot body beneath 7 km depth, indicating a heat source with geothermal fluids traveling through fractured basement rocks. These systems support both conductive and convective heat transfer, while magnetoleric methods are particularly effective in identifying conductive geothermal targets. So here are some recommendations. Future exploration will include additional geophysical surveys like gravity, passive seismic, and controlled source electromagnetic or CSEM techniques for more detailed reservoir characterization and drilling planning. So the next case history is the lithium exploration in Argentina. So in total of 65% of world reserves are in the so-called lithium triangle located in Argentina, Bolivia, and Chile. This area hosts salt flats with brines that contains this mineral. Due to the growth of the lithium market, the exploration frontier is changing, and currently it extends to the new concept that drive towards the exploration of clay deposits with anomalous lithium concentration, with much shorter production times from brine resources, fractured basement saturated with brine, and deep targets. So here now, we can see the schematic of lithium generation with the process flow at the top left, and at the bottom is the schematic for the generation process where the minerals from the mountains are carried to the bottom of the basin where they meet and evaporated salt and build salt flats. So the geophysical variations such as low electrical resistivity in salt concentration, low acoustic impedance, and dynamics of the hydrological system makes brine exploration a complex problem. Operationally, the situation is not better because the Argentine salt flats are found in sterile areas and at altitudes of 3,600 to 4,200 meters. And additionally, in many cases, it is found in hostile environment with difficult accessibility and surveying, and electromagnetic methods are better suited for high conductivity targets such as lithium brine with low resistivity. So now, let's proceed to our discussion. So the concept of using the CSEM or controlled source electromagnetic for fluids imaging is based on a carefully designed workflow supported by a sensitive acquisition system. So a critical aspect of the workflow is in the flexibility to select numerous calibration points. Next, at the carbon dioxide monitoring site in North Dakota, we thoroughly applied the workflow and under the inclusion of all logs, derived full 3D anisotropic modeling consistent with lithology, seismic data, and all other logs. The model served as the ground truth for verifying data acquisition, quality assurance, and inversions. The next one is for the geothermal example in Saudi Arabia. We use integrated geology and multi-measurement information to overcome the lack of deep boreholes, and the initial result already explained the known geothermal system around the hot spring area, and further data and interpretation are to follow. And the same electromagnetic system was applied to the lithium exploration in Argentina. In Argentina, the system could map existing lithium deposits and is recorded at several locations showing unusual low resistivity conductors and strongly indicating that the lithium deposits are possible. So let's head now to our last part, which is the conclusion. The successful use of the CSEM or Controlled Source Electromagnetic for Fluids Imaging for CCUS and geothermal and lithium applications illustrates its value. The data acquisition system consisting of magnetoleric and controlled source electromagnetic components was based on a careful design of high fidelity hardware coupled with monitoring architecture that delivers repeatable measurement within an overall system, uh, repeatability of better than 0.5%. Verification results was conducted via integration with borehole logs. So the acquisition workflow was tailored to the system so that the well logs can be used to verify acquisition result in a near real time quality assurance mode. The system consists of magnetoleric and controlled source electromagnetic components, and both methodologies are complementary. The case history starts with the carbon dioxide monitoring example with the same principle and workflow. And next is for the geothermal application, we show the dynamic geothermal flow cell being already mapped by the magnetoleric measurement that were used to design a detailed CSEM follow-up survey. And finally, the changes made to the hardware lead to a high acquisition dynamic that can map lithium brine. And that's all for my presentation. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.